Awesome. Hi guys. Sorry for, a couple of our technical difficulties. I feel like that always seems to happen on occasion. But nonetheless, we are super excited to kick off our Dreamers in Action team training call. We just started week 3 of the 90-day action plan, and it has just been so fun to see the momentum and drive of this team after New Year's kickoff. I know we had a lot of people go consultant last week, a ton of new enrollments hopping in, with our either Cupid cleanse or the post Super Bowl cleanse. We were able to celebrate Casey as a new consultant and Kendra as our newest crystal manager, which is so fun, and just love seeing that. So before we dive into tonight's call, and I know Kisa's got some amazing guest speakers lined up, and she's going to cover just an amazing topic. She probably is, one of the strongest leaders on our team to talk about connecting. Let's just go through just a teeny bit of, paperwork and stuff. But for those of you in Denver, Ignite Your Life is growing. We've had new speakers, new people sharing their story every single week. So we just encourage you guys to come on Wednesday nights, bring your friends, bring your family, bring your team. I'm super excited about ICU New Jersey. So any of you who are looking for an event, maybe you missed New Year's kickoff and you want to get plugged in or you want to get trained if you've never been. Jen Feiter will be there with a huge team. She and Adam, Laura and I are going, and we invite all of you. I'm all about the Snuggle Fest in the hotel room and get as many people there as we can. But that's the end of March, beginning of April. I know Marla and Chris and Bobby are looking at the UIA coming up this spring too, but I think it's just so important to stay plugged in, stay trained, and get to a corporate event every single 90 days. Remember, as part of the 90-day action plan, we're recruiting, we're enrolling, we're rank advancing, but we're also doing tasting parties. And if even a part-time business builder, I think every 30 days doing a virtual party or an in-live person party is great just to continue to share the stories. So that's something that some of your leaders are focusing on this week. So if you've never had one and you're like, okay, I don't even know where to begin, reach out to us. We want to help you. We absolutely, want to inspire you to share your story. We'll help you make it fun. We'll help you share the story, whatever it will be. And last but not least, before I turn the call over, you guys, I just want to remind you of all the contests that I am running. Super excited to spoil the mess out of you guys. So through the entire 90-day action plan, so we're in week 3 of week 12, I'm doing a contest that I will take the top 3 winners for a really elite and private trip to Phoenix, Arizona. So you guys will be responsible for flight and food, but I'm covering your 3-night stay at a 5-star resort in Scottsdale. That Thursday afternoon that we get in, we have a private lunch with Kathy Coover. Friday, we have an elite VIP tour at corporate. You guys, when you go visit corporate, it's normally a 30 to 40-minute tour. This is going to be a 6 to 7 hour training. You're going to meet with our executive leadership team. You're going to meet with R&D, the IT, the field advisory board. Like, there's just going to be an amazing opportunity. And not the field advisory board. I don't know why I just said that, but those are associates. But anyways, one-on-one time with Travis Garza, with Jim. Eric's out of town, but it's going to be incredible. You guys, we're going to cater you in nice VIP black, cars. You're going to have lunch catered. And then that night, I had asked Travis Ogden, who's the president and COO of our company, to come to dinner with us, and I would treat him to Scottsdale. And he and his wife, Holly, said, actually, I'd love to host you guys here. Can I cater dinner and just have your team over at my house? I mean, how amazing, how generous, how special. And then because Eric is out of town and I wanted time with him, the top 3 winners are also going to earn a one-on-one 30-minute free, complimentary coaching call with Eric Cooper himself. So that's the big promo, the big contest. You guys, anybody is eligible for that. I want you guys just to stay laser focused and go. And then some contests that I'm running just through the 19th of February. So they're all in Dreamers, but I'm doing a cash incentive for those that are growing their net cycles, that are actually growing their cycles of their business. I'm doing a cash incentive for those that are hitting the rank advancement. And then I'm also doing a cash incentive for those that hit the 5-cycle bonus for their first or second time this week or next week. So look at the flyers, reach out if you have questions. Work hard, you guys. Just go out and change some lives and make your dreams come true. So with no further ado, I want to turn the call over to Kisa Maxwell, who is just such a light on this team, you guys. She's so skilled. She works so hard. I love the way that she inspires her team. I love the leadership she stepped into. I love the culture that she has, and mostly just how authentic she is and the integrity that she has. So she is a 1-star crystal executive, 3-star Golden Circle. She is a part of Start 1000, which means she has a 6-figure business between the ages of 18 and 35, but she's fun and she has been a natural connector since the day she joined. So with no further ado, Kisa, I'm going to mute and let you lead.
Thanks, girl. Thank you for that incredible and super nice introduction. I appreciate it. Before I talk to you guys about connecting, there are a few people that I want to hop out and kind of give their testimonials. So the first person I'm going to welcome to the call is Miss Marla Kraft. You can unmute yourself if you want. Marla has become a dear friend of mine over the last year or so since she got enrolled. She's an amazing mama of 2 little kids, and she is also well on her way to Crystal Manager. So she's going to talk to you all about our product spotlight this week.
Hello.
Oh.
Alrighty. So our product spotlight of the week is the Isoline dairy-free bars. These are the perfect meal alternative for anyone looking for balanced nutrition on the go. They're easy and convenient to put in your purse or your gym bag and give you the fuel you need while you're out and about. The bars are a great way to satisfy your hunger while also helping to achieve weight loss goals and support muscle maintenance. The bars contain 19 grams of high-quality plant-based protein that is 100% dairy-free. They're also soy-free, gluten-free, and vegetarian-friendly. They have good fats, energy-fueling carbohydrates, and an excellent source of fiber without all the artificial flavors, colors, or sweeteners added. They come in 3 delicious flavors. We have chocolate peanut butter, berry bliss, and our newest addition, the coconut almond bar, and it's super yummy. The bars come 10 in a box, and they cost about $32.95. I'm a huge fan of our bars. I never thought I would be a dairy-free person, but I have to say that Isagenix outdoes themselves on flavors. All of the dairy-free products I've tried, I've fallen in love with. So if you haven't already, add them to your next order and give them a try.
Yay! If you guys can see Jules, she is doing a Vanna White display of the dairy-free bars. But thanks so much, Marla. I really appreciate you letting us know about those. What's awesome about the bars, too, is that, you know, for some of us new people that have seen all of the dairy-free options, that wasn't so much the case not that long ago. So Isagenix is always trying to kind of give us additional products that help people with solutions, whether you're vegan or dairy-free or you like the whey. So those bars are a new addition. So we appreciate you talking to us about that. All right, the next person I want to call out really doesn't need a whole lot of introduction because you guys hear me talk about him all the time. It's my dad. So he's definitely dedicated to himself to this program for the last 2 or so years. I had to twist his arm to join me on this journey, but he is far surpassed me even in his being a product of the product. So he is an IsaBody honorable mention and an IsaBody finalist hopeful. So he's going to go ahead and share his product testimonial with us. So Dad, are you there? You can unmute yourself.
I am. Thank you so much for having me on board. I appreciate it.
Of course.
So tonight's topic, I wanted to talk about one of the Isagenix staples within the business. It's really the whey protein and also the dairy-free protein. And it's interesting, the quality of the Isagenix protein. It actually has a higher concentration of branched chain amino acids. And what that does is it really elicits the protein synthesis response consistently throughout each day when you're consuming the product. So this is really extremely important for lean muscle growth, and it's something that's really helped me pack on 14 pounds of lean muscle in a little over two years. And one of the interesting factors about the protein is the supply. And Isagenix, as we all know, obtains a lot of their protein from select small dairy farms in New Zealand. But recently, due to the company's rapid growth, the same high standard selection process has also been used by Isagenix to select a few farms right here to participate in their supply right here in the USA. One of the reasons that it's specifically chosen, some of the criteria is the cows are always pasture fed.
Oh, you're muted. Dad, you're muted.
Okay, I don't know how much you heard.
It just muted.
Okay, so the cows are always pasture fed. They're never feedlot fed. They're never given antibiotics or hormones, and they're always milked according to the season. Isogenics has adopted a new slogan for their cows. They're called cheerful cows. The extraction method that they use is they never use salts or acids, which can affect the bioactive peptides that are within the protein. And instead, Isogenics uses multiple fine filters and presses, resulting in additional nutritional benefits and, of course, the flavor. And now the plant-based protein.
You're muted again. I don't know what's happening.
Sorry about that. So the plant-based protein historically has been gritty, and we kind of all know that from some of the previous products that have been out there. Isogenics provides ingredients and processes that mimic the same whey protein profile. They use brown rice, which is high in cysteine and methionine, but it's also low in lysine. So to counteract that, they use pea protein, and that's just the opposite, and it's high in lysine. These are blended together to create the balance that we have in our protein-free shake, or in our dairy-free shakes. One of the constant processes that's used throughout the grain industry for extraction is called hexane. And Isogenics has chosen to sidestep that process. They use a hexane-free extraction method. So hexane really has a lot of controversy surrounding it. And because of that, they don't really know if they can find out if some of the hexane actually makes it into some of the different products that other manufacturers choose to use. And the process for hexane is, the reason they use hexane is that it separates the oils from the starch and the protein. It's controversial, so Isogenics just doesn't use it. They just don't know if it can end up in a product. So Isogenics uses physical separation. They use a low heat process. They do a lot of screening, a lot of soaking, a lot of crushing. Then they dry it, and then they extract it. And after that, it goes through rigorous testing. And that is the reason why we have such great tasting shakes, and their smoothness, and they're not gritty, and we are leaps and bounds ahead of other companies. And that's my testimonial.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I think a lot of us didn't really know, we've for so long gotten our protein from New Zealand and our happy cows from New Zealand. And so that's definitely a new development that I think is important for people to know. Obviously, most of you, I'm sure, have seen his testimonial and how much he's changed, not just his mindset, but obviously his physical being over the last couple of years. So, he's a great testament to 65 and killing it. So we appreciate you being on the call tonight. Love you, Dad. Okay, so the last testimonial I'm so excited to welcome is Miss Jules Hansen. So we met on a three-way call about a year ago, just a little over a year ago. And I knew from the get-go, many of you that already know her know that she's a total fireball and a total yellow and loves to have fun. And, she really doesn't need a whole lot of an introduction, but from the get-go, I knew that as soon as she had a great product experience, that she would be someone who would not be quiet, quiet period, but especially quiet about sharing her product testimonial. And that has obviously been the case. So she's been growing her business with Isogenics. She's sharing with so many people and helping so many have great product experiences as well. So I'm excited to bring her on so she can share with you guys her business opportunity testimonial.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jules, if you don't know me. January 4th of last year, I was on a three-way call with Kisa, and funny enough, pretty much as soon as I started these products, my sponsor fell off, and I got to blow up Kisa's phone many, many a time. And I had no intention of doing the business. I just wanted to get healthy with a side of weight loss, which is what I said. Like I didn't really know how much weight I had to lose. I knew I could stand to lose a couple of pounds, but I certainly had no idea that I would
50 pounds, by the way. Right?
50
50 is what you've lost, which
yeah
is amazing.
feel a little, it's kind of funny when that happens though, because when you go, oh yeah, I could stand to lose 20 pounds, and then you lose 50 and you're like, wow, I guess I had 50 to lose. It's a little humbling, but I'm not even sure I knew that Isagenix was actually network marketing when I signed up. And that's because it was just so not on my radar. It was just so not something that I was focused on. So for me, it was just, I just wanted to get healthy. I just wanted to do this. And then I shared a picture about 30 days in. And because I had not paid any attention to any of the business things that were going on, when someone asked me about it, I verbally vomited all over them and wrote them a manifesto, because I can look back in some of these emails, and I wrote these manifestos and sent like all these like video links. And then I wondered why no one responded. And still, it wasn't that I was trying to sell them something. I was just like, well, why didn't they just respond and be like, well, yeah, girl, that's awesome. I mean, no response. So I kind of started going and looking in the Dreamers, Climbers, and Coaches, and got into the Dreamers in Action page, and kind of paying a little bit more attention, and listened to some podcasts and watched a couple videos on YouTube. And the real kind of changing moment was the Super Saturday that I went down to Kisa's Super Saturday in San Luis Obispo on 0 sleep, by the way, but still we managed to make it. And it was amazing once you get in, when they say that events are everything, events are everything. I got there in the same room as all these people that had such a belief in these products and were having such amazing product stories. I had already had such a wonderful product experience and wanted to share it with people. I just didn't have any idea how to do it that wasn't just completely overwhelming to people that didn't know anything about these products. So that was my first lesson in learning how to connect with people. From there, my next event, I actually shared a lot more. I was what I called an accidental consultant, because I had friends that signed up in spite of my ignorance and started the products. And so I became an accidental consultant. So I started getting paid, and I was like, this is great. So I should probably concentrate on this a little bit more and figure out what I can do. And by the way, I do have my business degree from USC, so it's not like I'm totally an idiot when it comes to this stuff. It's just I've been singing and writing country music for the last 20 years instead of being in the business world. So although my music is a business in itself, it's just a different thing. So putting my business head back on was definitely just a transition that has been fun and neat to rediscover in myself and rediscover that passion for business. So the big thing was getting to Celebration, and I went to Celebration in August. And if any of you saw me there, very, very, I'm not a good morning person, barely awake, going, what is this Kool-Aid party? What did I sign up for? And about 3 hours in, I had drunk all the Kool-Aid. I was like, I'm in. Yeah, this is like, I get it. I get it. And it totally just sparked this passion in me. And it was like, yeah, these products that I am so in love with and are changing my life have completely changed the way I feel, completely changed the way that I look, completely changed the way that I'm going about life. You guys, it's not just about this business and about being in good shape. My credit score has gone up 120 points this year. I've paid off a lot of things, like I've gotten rid of toxic relationships. Like this transforms your entire life, not just your health. And from that point at Celebration, I really decided to concentrate on this as a business. And there were things that I took away from Celebration that were amazing. The 90-day game plan is a game changer, you guys. It's fantastic to follow. It really just gets you on, just focused and on point, and following a plan and setting specific goals is really important. So the big things are setting specific goals, putting in the time and effort, and being consistent about doing that. Setting your business hours, that was a big thing that I got, like actually being, having the intent and saying, okay, so Monday from 12 to 5, I'm going to set business hours and I'm going to do this, setting those business hours and making the point to make those connections, setting specific weekly goals, setting specific daily goals, whether it's to reach out to 5 people that are prospects, or 5 people that are already on your team that you've already signed up, or just to love on 5 random people, and also to just be a good example, being a product of the product. I'm very, very lucky in that I've had an incredible transformation. So it's very visible to my friends. So for people that aren't maybe are gaining weight or transforming that way, or maybe have just had incredible energy gains, I get that that's not as much of a visible transition. So I've had a very visible transition, so that's been great. But
I don't want to cut you off, but
I'm also done.
It's okay. I just want to wrap it up a little because we have a lot to cover. But
I'm also very long-winded, in case any of you haven't.
I just want to point out that you have had a great business transformation, just in terms of coming, and this kind of goes into what I'm going to be talking about, which is connecting. And you and I stayed connected throughout your first 30 days.
Yeah.
And then they're on after that. And I think that has really benefited you in terms of how to share with others, and the transformation that you've had financially, paying a lot of debt and upping your credit score, being able to travel a lot, and being able to pay for a lot of trips that you weren't intending to pay for with other means. Jules also just quit a couple days off of her bartending job, so that's awesome, so that she could focus more on Isogenics. So I don't want to cut you off, but I do want to just say I appreciate you talking to us tonight. And
awesome.
I probably have more than I need to say, so I want to make sure that I don't spend too long. Yeah. But like I said, it definitely goes into what I'm going to talk about tonight, which is connecting. And there is so much to this topic that it's hard to kind of condense it, but I'm going to do the best that I can. As Lynn Hagedorn always says, we go to work to complicate it. So I'm going to try to do the opposite of that and not be super complicated with what I have to say. So one of the first things that I learned early on that Lauren taught me, before I even knew that I wanted to share Isogenics with people, was just presenting what you're doing online to people. So I know that the majority of us that are on this call tonight have been sharing for at least a short period of time. So this might not necessarily relate to you directly, but it will help you to coach new people that you have when you enroll them. So when Lauren first enrolled me, and if you guys don't know that, Lauren enrolled me in May of 2014. So I've been using the products and sharing with other people for almost 3 years now. But when she first enrolled me, the first thing she said was, hey, nobody does this alone. You got to find your 2 accountability partners. The easiest thing to do is just post on Facebook, because you have no idea who is looking for these solutions, and it's not up to you to prejudge. So just kind of put it out there. So I did. I'm not really sure. I don't think I even got much response that time, but it was just laying the foundation. And a lot of times that's all we're doing. Some of us have a really big network, so you might get a lot of response right away. Others may get nothing, but you don't want to stop at that one point. So, ultimately you want to create curiosity. And if you've done one post or a few posts, the next step, if someone is interested, is to immediately get them on a 3-way message or encourage the person to get on a 3-way call. So that's going to be one of the main ways that you're able to initially connect with someone. A lot of people I know have they want to do this on their own, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I always tell people it's, you know, you don't reinvent the wheel. You want to make sure you're duplicable, which duplicable is actually the right word. I know we want to say duplicatable, but I've learned from, who was it, Chris Harder, that the word is duplicable. So in order to be duplicable, you want to utilize the power of the three-way message or the three-way call. And this is in no way to invalidate you as a coach, but it's really to just ensure that the interested person gets all of their questions answered and that everyone's time is valued. So if you present it that way, it's really doesn't make things weird. Something that I like to have people say is, like, I want to make sure you have the best resources. So let's get you on the phone with my friend, Jules. She has had an amazing product experience, and I think that you will really love her. You know, you don't necessarily need to ask them if that's okay. Just assume that it is, because if you assume and just act as if that's like the natural way in which we connect with everyone, then they're not going to feel like it's a weird thing. And it also builds value. You know, if you say something like, hey, let's do like a three-way call with my upline, that sounds weird. So I don't recommend saying that. But the other way is a way to just make it seem like a natural way. And people like to feel valued if they understand that your intention is to make sure that their time is valued and that their questions are answered. Then there's really never like a question of your intentions. If you're someone who's been using the products for a long time, so that's if you are brand new. If you're someone that's been using the products for a long time, you might question whether or not you should be utilizing three-way calls, because maybe you're worried about that like negative self-talk. Like, well, what are they going to think if they know I've been using the products for a year, 2 years, or 3 years, and I try to say that we should get them on the phone with someone else? Will that make me seem like I'm not as knowledgeable? And I think the best way to go about that is just saying that, you know, I know what works for me and my goals, but I value your time, and I really want to make sure that your questions get answered for your specific goals. So let's just jump on the phone with my friend. She's really knowledgeable in, you know, the athletes, or, you know, something that you think might be relatable to them. The next step in connecting with someone is, after someone's express interest, I always like to keep them on my like running list. I think you should always have a list of people that are interested, because a lot of times that first connection that you make with someone is not going to be necessarily the time that they enroll. So you want to be able to make sure that you have them on your list so that you can connect with them frequently after that first initial connection. So if there's a promotion or you want to follow up with them, you know, they're there and they're easily accessible. So you don't want to forget about someone, which is really easy to do. The next step would be adding them to our testimonials page. Lauren created a page. If you guys don't know what the page is, it's called Dreamers in Action Testimonials page. So it's a page where we post a lot of before and afters, product testimonials, things related to, you know, all kinds of things that other testimonials that other people would be interested in. So if you add them to that page, they're going to be seeing those testimonials as people post. But the most important thing, and we talked about this tonight on one of our leadership calls, is to really make sure that if you're adding people to those pages, that you're also adding value to those pages. So you don't just want to add people all the time, but not post content. So I don't know if any of you guys know this, but like if you add someone to a page, let's say like most of the time, if you're adding someone, they're not necessarily friends with anyone else that's in that posts in that page. So the only time they're actually going to get a notification is if you or anyone that they're friends with posts in that page. So if you add them, but you don't add content, they're never getting notified. And you know how many groups there are on Facebook right now. You know, you're probably added to 1 million pages. You don't necessarily go through and click on each one. So you want to make sure that you're adding value to those pages as well so that they see those testimonials. If there is a testimonial that's posted, it's really beneficial to, if like you added someone that's pregnant or breastfeeding and someone happens to add a post about pregnancy or breastfeeding, tag them in the comment section. And that's really gonna, it's obviously gonna notify them that of that post. And anything you do like that just continues to create curiosity. So that's always a benefit. Another tip that I heard on a call recently, and I have not tried this yet, but I thought that I would give you guys, talk about it anyways, is that, sometimes we add people to those testimonials groups and we forget about them. We forget that they're there. So going through and remembering who you added and then sending them a message that says something like, I know that you've been in our testimonials group for a while. Do you want me to remove you, or should we revisit ordering your system, or something to that effect? It might not necessarily need to be as harsh, but most of the time people aren't going to say remove me. But if they do, what they said on this call was, it's not no, it's just next. That's leaving you room to work on the next person that you could potentially be enrolling. So I thought that that was great, because I think oftentimes we miss people because we add them to the groups and then we don't actually connect with them afterward. So the next part about connecting is following up. I think that this is a really key element that a lot of people forget about. I always joke with Lauren that she had to follow up with me 11 times in order to get me to say yes, but it's true. And I mean, I couldn't even really tell you. I know that 11th time, I remember that enrollment call, and I remember being ready, and I remember almost everything about our conversation that day. But I really don't remember, time 2, 3, 4 up to 10. It's just, I wasn't ready. I was ignoring her messages, or, it was just not my timing. But what's funny is that actually today, I don't know, you guys know the On This Day feature that comes up on Facebook. I look at it every single day, and today happened to be, so I enrolled May of 2014. So February of 2014, 2 months before I enrolled, she had tagged me in some post about Isagenix. I don't even remember the post. So I just always encourage people, the key is in the follow-up, and don't think that just because they're not responding to you that they are disinterested or that they're never going to enroll, because I enrolled and I've been using, loving, and sharing the products for the last almost 3 years, and it's become my sole income that is for me and my family. So I think that there's something to be said about continuing to follow up. Other good times to follow up with people, promotions. So this week would be a great opportunity to do that. This last Sunday, I encouraged my team to send out a little message to everyone enrolled, active and inactive, just that if they wanted to join us for our 9-day or 30-day cleanse following Super Bowl, that they would reimburse their shipping. So you can offer personal promotions directly to people, not that you post on your wall, but it's just a good way to incentivize people to get started. And it reminds them that you're still here, you're still using this product. And there are key times to do that. So obviously after Super Bowl was perfect, because, most people were feeling not so great. So we did get a lot of activity on that. And I think that it's really beneficial just to kind of think outside the box a little bit. Something else that I always talk about is really making sure that you reach out to people and connect with people, not just related to Isagenix. So I think that there's something to be said about just creating authentic and real relationships with people. Asking questions to listen and not just necessarily to respond is important. You don't want people every single time you reach out to them to think, oh, here comes that Isagenix girl or guy. That's all they're looking for is to see if I'm ready to enroll now. If you ask how someone is, and they respond with, I'm okay, I have this going on in my life, and you're all, oh, cool, here's a promotion. They're going to feel like that's all you care about. And yeah, that might be your intention, but I think that there's something to be said about being just real with people, you know? I mean, they may never enroll, and that's okay, but it's important for you to love on people and really act as if you, I mean, actually care, not just act as if you care, but actually really care about what they have going on. Because that's going to happen when people come into your business, and they may go out of your business. And if the only thing that they think you care about is whether they order next month or not, they're going to be less likely to really confide in you or tell you what's going on. So I think that it's important, especially if you cultivate a friendship or a relationship with someone while they're using Isagenix, don't discount them when they stop using Isagenix. You know, continue that relationship with them, because it's going to benefit like you as a person in general. But let's say a year from now, it's their time, like, and they're going to feel like you loved on them for that whole year. Even when they weren't using Isagenix, you really connected with them. They're going to value that, and it's going to uplift them. So that's something kind of just outside of strictly Isagenix that I really think is important, to just be genuine and authentic. Okay. I told you guys I had a lot to say, so I'm going to try to wrap it up, because I know there's a lot and everyone has things to do. But connecting offline. So there's a formula that Isagenix uses. It's called FORM. So family, occupation, recreation, and motivation, what motivates you. So just when you are out and about, you may think that your network is really small, but I guarantee you guys have a lot more opportunities to talk to people than you probably realize. So if you're getting your nails done, your nail technician, the person sitting next to you, you're getting your hair done, you're at a restaurant, your server, your bartender, you're a bartender, your customer, you're on an airplane, the person sitting next to you, you're at the gym, the person on the treadmill next to you. You know, there are so many opportunities to connect with people, not necessarily to plug Isagenix, but just to connect with them. And I think we miss a lot of opportunities because, you know, we're so in our phones sometimes, or we're so in our own heads or in our own way that we forget that we have a lot of opportunities that are potentially missed. So that's just something that I think is important to note, is that just like keep your head up and acknowledge the people that are around you. You could probably create a lot more connections than you would expect, but talking to people about their family, about what they do. If you ask someone, what do you do? They're most likely going to ask you the same thing after they tell you what they do. And that's an opportunity for you to talk about, you know, maybe what your full-time job is, but then what you're really excited about is this nutritional company that you have partnered with. So you always have an opportunity to talk about Isagenix, whether it's the nutritional aspect or even the business aspect. You know, they say people will join you when they know, like, and trust you. So connecting with people, being authentic, creating those genuine connections is going to be really important. And, you know, don't forget to just have the posture of being happy and being positive and smiling at people, holding doors open, you know, just being a person that someone would want to be friends with and would want to connect with, I think is really important. So, Lauren, I'll turn it over to you because I don't want to keep going because I probably could talk for another hour.
I think it was great. I think you're doing awesome, and I can see the chat. You know that people are taking away good things, and I love everything you said. And the things that I would love to just reinforce is, you know, to be authentic. I love that in the follow-up, how much you're highlighting that we're chatting with them, not about Isagenix every single time, that there's ways you're building that relationship and truly caring about people, but then going back to them, you know, when the time is right and all the different ways to do it. And just like we talked on the leadership call earlier, you guys, I track all of my leads in spiral notebooks, and it's not fancy. Some people probably use a contact managing system or an Excel spreadsheet, but I am a simple girl and I use notebooks, and yes, they're pink, but I literally just like write down like someone's name, their number, their email, where I met them, like a couple notes about them or something, so that I can go back. And then the date I text them, or if I got on the phone with them, or if I did a three-way call, or if I sent them a video or friended them on Facebook, or whatever the objections were. And so in the interim that I'm chatting with people and connecting with people, it is very authentic and I am caring about them. However, when I do want to go back to Isogenics, I know why they said they couldn't do it, right? Or I know kind of something about them or what their reservations were. And that's how Kisa knew that I contacted her like 11 times, you know, and I think that the timing has to be really perfect. But I called a girl today that I'm going to enroll this week that I haven't spoken to in 2014. And I literally said, I've been with this company for over 3 years. I've never seen as generous as a promotion that they're doing right now with this 10% discount. I said, I just watched someone save $85 on their value pack. I said, I'm literally telling everybody I know that's ever expressed interest in Isogenics, you know? And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you called me. Like, just ready, you know? And you just never know when it's going to be their time. And of course, I'm getting a lot of no's along the way. But over the last couple of years, you know, like I tagged her on Facebook of other things, or just seen my consistency, or invited her to things, or reached out and asked her her holidays were, any of that stuff, which is so, so, so important. And Kisa, the best thing that at the end here that I love that you just highlighted on is that there's opportunity everywhere. You know, I think a lot of times people are like, well, I don't know anybody, or I just moved, or none of my friends and family are into this. And whenever I feel like I don't have new people on my list, because you always want to be growing your list. If you have the same 10 people that you are reaching out to 100 times, you need to go find another 100 people to reach out to 10 times, you know? And if I ever get to that point of being like, okay, I need to find some new people because I've circled back too many times, it's like there's opportunity everywhere, and going to the grocery store, and going to the nail place, and going to the bank, and going to the gym, going to a new gym, going to a different CrossFit, a different Orange Theory, a different yoga place that you go to, and just building those relationships. And it's not like you said, you walk up and you're like, hey, here's my sample bag, you know, call me, but they'll hear you on the phone, or they'll ask what you're doing, or you can ask questions about them and, you know, somehow connect and follow up afterwards. But the number one thing that people tell me all the time, if I'm out, I'm like, oh, I don't want to bug you. Like, you don't have to do a call right now. I'm like, I want to do the call right now, because the people to the left and the right of me are going to ask what I'm doing, you know? So just be really, really open to that. But you guys are awesome. And Marla, thank you so much for talking to us about the dairy-free bars. Like, I know the chocolate coconut are coming back, but they're so good, and the chocolate peanut butter. And Jewel, you are just a light of energy. Like, I literally was laughing over here. And you're just so spunky and so loving. And congrats on your results. And thank you, I mean, just for sharing what it's done for you financially as well. I mean, that whole, I don't know if you saw in the chat where I was like, Isogenics improved my credit score. I'm like, that might be the new hashtag. I've got to figure out how to do that, because mine is too. When I started with Isogenics, I was in the 600s, and I just had it run, and I was just under 800. And that has to do with the financial opportunity. So I was like, I can relate, you know? And Rick, amazing job. I mean, congratulations again on being an honorable mention. I mean, you're just like such a father figure to all of us, and so inspirational. And I was like, 14 pounds of muscle. I thought you were going to like start doing jump squats over there, or push-ups or something. And Kisa, this is amazing. I mean, I just have loved watching your journey, and you're always so authentic. And you guys, thank you for all of you for getting on. I mean, it's such a treat to see all of your faces. And I know everybody's busy and has a lot of things going on. So the fact that you're invested in this means the world to all of us. But you guys, week 3, we're almost, you know, through the first like kind of quarter of the 90-day game plan, and it goes by fast. So just stay clear to your vision, clear to your why. One of my most favorite training calls I've ever heard was from Laura Stevens and Kelly Dickerhoof, and they talked about it getting messy. You know, a lot of times we're like, oh, it's so easy. And, you know, like Jewel was saying, of like, you know, map out your business hours, or be consistent, or follow up and get to an event. And, you know, it's going to get messy, you guys. And you just got to be okay with the fact that in 90 days, you're going to not sleep as much, and you're going to get up earlier, and you're going to stay up later, and you're going to make some sacrifices. But 12 weeks from now, 10 weeks from now, you have total control to change the trajectory of your life. You know, I mean, you're setting yourself up to benefit from residual income, from passive income. So if you're a little irritable, it's a little frustrated, your family's like, God, you're on the phone again, just hold the mirror up to their face, up to your face, what you're doing this for. And it's a temporary short-term sacrifice for a long-term reward. And I just want you guys to remember what Eric Worre says, that in the beginning, you are incredibly underpaid for the work that you're doing and the hard work you put in. And then suddenly there's a shift where you are incredibly overpaid for the work that you're doing, but you've got to put in the grind. So stay focused. I'm proud of all you guys. Kisa, you crushed it. Somehow with Chris and Kisa and I on a different line, we'll get the recording up, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye, you guys. Good night.
Bye.